Okay, think about the last live concert you went to. You remember it, right? The lights, the sound, that incredible energy. Now, what if I told you that a single show could be more than just entertainment? What if it could actually generate hundreds of millions of dollars and completely transform a city's economy? Well, that's not some crazy hypothetical. We're about to show you exactly how one massive event did just that. So, let's set the scene. It's January 2025. Over 2 incredible nights, more than 222,000 fans are packed into the world's largest cricket stadium, the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, for Coldplay's Music of the Spheres tour. But you know, this spectacle wasn't just about the music. Nope, it was the trigger for a massive economic phenomenon. And this is the number that tells the real story. 641 crore rupees. Let that sink in. That's the estimated economic impact from just 2 nights of music. So the big question is, how on earth does a single concert generate that much money?
All right, to really get a grip on this, we've got to dive into the numbers and see where all that value actually came from. Because this was so much more than just ticket sales. This was like a massive injection of cash into both the local and the national economy.
Now check out how this all breaks down. The biggest piece of the pie, a truly staggering 392 crore, was a direct cash boost right into Ahmedabad's economy. We're talking money spent on hotels, transportation, food, local shopping, you name it. On top of that, a cool 72 crore went straight to the government in tax revenue. And the rest, that 177 crore, that's the ripple effect, the money that kept spreading out through the wider economy.
Yeah, an event of this scale, it definitely didn't go unnoticed. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi pointed to it as solid proof of the massive potential of India's concert economy. This was a big deal, signaling a real shift in how the country sees live entertainment, not just as culture, but as a seriously powerful economic engine. Okay, so let's zoom in a little. Let's get right on the ground in Ahmedabad and see what this flood of fans and money actually looked and felt like for the city itself. Because this was more than just a busy weekend, it was a complete top-to-bottom transformation. Get this. An incredible 86% of the people at the concert were not from Ahmedabad. Think about that for a second. This wasn't a local crowd. This was a massive influx of tourists from over 500 cities, coming from every single state in India, all descending on one city for one single reason.
So how did they all get there? Well, the city's airport handled an extraordinary 138,000 travelers in just 3 days. That included a record-shattering 47,000 arrivals on the very first concert day alone. I mean, the city's entire travel infrastructure was put through the ultimate stress test.
And wow, just look at this chart. It tells you everything you need to know about the immediate economic boom. Hotel rooms that might normally go for around 15,000 rupees during a busy season just skyrocketed. We're talking between 50,000 and 90,000 rupees almost overnight, right after the concert was announced. That is the raw power of demand. And it wasn't just the hotels and airports. The city's entire public transport network was pushed to its absolute limits. The local metro and even the national railways, which had to run special trains just for the event, completely shattered all of their previous passenger records. It was proof that the city could, in fact, handle a world-class mega event.
So we've seen all the direct spending on things like hotels and travel. But how did that initial spending multiply into such a massive citywide boom? Well, the answer is a classic economic idea that shows how 1 rupee can actually do the work of many.
It's called the economic multiplier effect. And to put it simply, the money spent on one thing, like a concert ticket, it doesn't just stop there. That spending becomes income for somebody else, who then goes on to spend it on other things, and so on and so on. It creates this awesome chain reaction of economic activity. It's like a domino effect for money. And a survey of the people who went actually put a hard number on this. For every 100 rupees spent on a concert ticket, an additional 585 rupees were spent in the city on things like hotels, travel, food, and local shopping. That's a multiplier of nearly 6 times the ticket price. That's just wild. But you know, the impact went way beyond just the economics. The event created 15,000 temporary jobs, and 9,000 of those went to local residents. It also set a new standard for sustainability, diverting 95% of all waste away from landfills. And maybe, just maybe, the most important thing is that it changed minds. 78% of the people who came now see Ahmedabad as a major concert destination. It literally changed the city's brand. You see, this whole event wasn't just some isolated incident. It's actually part of a much bigger, nationwide trend that is completely changing how people think about travel and entertainment.
So let me introduce you to a new word for a new kind of travel, the gigcation. It's exactly what it sounds like, right? A vacation planned around a gig. People aren't just going to a concert for one night anymore. They're building entire trips, often weekend getaways, all centered around these big live music events.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to what the travel industry experts are saying. This isn't just a thing for the big metro cities like Mumbai or Delhi anymore. The success story in Ahmedabad proves that this kind of event-led travel is now a pan-Indian trend, and it's capable of creating brand new tourism hotspots all over the country.
So what this all points to is a really fundamental shift in our mindset. A concert used to be a single evening thing you did in a big city. Now, it's the main event for a full-on getaway that can happen pretty much anywhere. Travel isn't just about the destination anymore. It's about being part of a shared cultural moment.
Now, a success story this big doesn't happen by accident. The Ahmedabad concert wasn't just luck. It was the result of some incredible planning and teamwork. And because of that, it now serves as a blueprint, a roadmap for other cities that want to tap into this booming concert economy. In the playbook for other cities, it's pretty clear. First up, you need smooth public-private partnerships to build the right infrastructure and make things run like clockwork. Second, you got to simplify regulations with things like single window clearance, so it's not a nightmare to attract these global events. Third, you have to invest in modern, world-class venues. And finally, governments need to offer supportive policies, knowing that the long-term economic payoff is going to be massive.
And this really is the vision for the future, perfectly said by the CEO of BookMyShow, the company that promoted the event. The goal is to decentralize live entertainment, to bring these huge economic and cultural opportunities to cities all across India, not just the usual suspects.
So there you have it. The Ahmedabad concert gave us the proof, and it laid out the blueprint. It showed that with the right vision, the right infrastructure, and the right collaboration, pretty much any city can become a global stage. The only question left is, which one will be next?